Welcome back to the Patriots Group Chat Podcast. I'm John, and today we're going to get into draft reaction. We're going to take a look at what's been happening on Twitter since the draft, some specific reactions, and I'm also just going to share some of my thoughts. So let's get into it. So just to run through the draft class real quick in case you haven't seen it. Round 1, offensive tackle Will Campbell. Round 2, running back Travion Henderson. Round 3, wide receiver Kyle Williams. Round 3, also center Jared Wilson. Round 4, safety Craig Woodson. Also round 4, defensive tackle Joshua Farmer. Round 5, edge rusher Braden Swinson. Round 6, kicker Andres Borregales. Round 7, offensive tackle Marcus Bryant. Round 7, long snapper Julian Ashby. And round 7, cornerback Kobe Minor. That tweet that was deleted, I thought it was funny. Some people are going to hate this. Some people were like, oh, this is unprofessional. How could you tweet that? I thought it was hilarious. Well, first off, let's start with the reaction to the Patriots' 4th overall pick, Will Campbell. There was obviously some mixed reactions. A lot of people excited and a lot of people going, what the hell are we doing drafting an offensive tackle who might be a guard at number 4 overall? Personally, I'm excited about it. I think he's going to be really, really good. I'm not worried about a ½ inch of arm length. But let's actually take a look at some of the responses. Some people were saying it was their favorite pick, and some people were saying, Elliot Wolf, go F yourself, Pats Nation, and then says, nah, sick of this guy always drafting like shit. IDK, how he's employed in the NFL, says we're taking BPA, takes the worst LT prospect in recent years based on penalties and losses to rushing. So there is a wide range of emotions and feelings. Sarah Marshall tweeted an article with the headline, Patriots reek of failure after seeing the Jaguars trade up for Travis Hunter. I don't know if we were expecting the Patriots to trade up a spot or two from 4 to go after Travis Hunter. I think there were discussions about that, but I don't know if there was ever really any serious talk. And frankly, the Jaguars gave up an absurd amount to go there, so I don't know if it would have been worth it for us. John Frashella, Football, ranked Will Campbell as the 2nd worst pick in the draft, which pretty much guarantees that Will Campbell's going to be, multi-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro, probably a Hall of Famer. So that's good news. But the clip that has really been Will Campbell's best PR is the clip when they're interviewing him after he gets drafted and he's in tears. And he says,
you are brought to New England to protect Drake May. What kind of tone are you going to set on this offensive line?
I'm going to fight and die to protect them with everything I've got.
So that's what you like to hear from your first pick. Boston Radio Watch tweeted, it seems like Elliot Wolf's grading system worked better than advertised. Should keep Grandpa Felger quiet until training camp. I responded, it won't, and I was correct. It was funny to me that the rationale that they used for being negative about the draft class was, well, everyone is hyping it up so much, we're going to give you the other side, because that's what we do. If everyone was dumping on it, then we would give you the, no, you wouldn't. What? Do you think no one listens to your show? We know what you say. You're literally always negative, and people are sick of it. It's honestly amazing that these people are still on the radio. But I digress. Probably the most hype player of the draft right now is wide receiver Kyle Williams. And hand up, guys, I was not familiar with his game. But I have been looking into some more of his tape, and this kid's got some great traits. I'm really excited to see what they're able to do with him in this offense, what McDaniels does, and when you have Drake May throwing to you, that helps. Another reaction that I saw a lot was people being excited that we drafted offensive players. Okay, we got Henderson at the running back, we got multiple offensive linemen, we got an exciting wide receiver. So the offense is improving, but they also beefed up that defensive line. It's gonna be scary with Milton Williams and Christian Barmore, and you add in Farmer there, we'll see what he can do. With that said, a lot of conversation is now turned to who's the odd man out or odd men out in the wide receiver room as it's getting a little crowded. Now, you can argue it's not necessarily packed with talent, but the question is more like, okay, yeah, all these guys are close enough in their actual talent level that it kind of murks it up on who's going to be the person to go. Per Mike Reese, Demario Douglas is safe, so glad we're going to have Pop back, but a lot of people then are obviously saying, it's going to be Polk, It's going to be Kendrick Bourne. It's going to be a lot of people talking about Booty. And that's not even mentioning Baker. So there's a lot of guys in there. A natural assumption would be somebody like Polk, because he had a really rough first year. I like the guy. He looked good in college, but it hasn't panned out so far. We'll see if they give him a second chance or if he's the one to go. Again, it's going to be multiple guys that are out of this wide receiver room by the time we get to week 1. The question and what's going to be interesting to see is what's going to kind of be the rationale of why they're letting guys go. Is it going to be like, hey, KB's older and he maybe can't bring what we need to the table? Or is it going to be like, hey, Polk just isn't delivering. Baker couldn't get on the field last year. Like, we need guys who are going to produce. We're going to take a guy like KB over that because, yeah, he might not have the ceiling that they potentially could anymore, but right now he can produce, and that's what Drake May needs. So there's kind of like the two sides of the coin there, and it'll be interesting to see what they go with. Here we have Daniel Rotman's personal Patriots wide receiver rankings. Let's take a look at this. Number 1, Stephon Diggs. That's kind of obvious. Number 2, Kyle Williams, already has him at the top of that chart. Number 3, Javon Baker. Number 4, Pop Douglas. 5, Kendrick Bourne. 6, Kayshon Boutte. 7, Mac Hollins. 8, Jalen Polk. I low-key forgot Mac Hollins was on this roster, so I'm glad we touched on this. In my opinion, he's got Baker way too high. He says, note, I'm not projecting the depth chart. I'm ranking my own hope/talent for these guys. So that's fine. In my opinion, Baker's still too high on this list. I think Douglas has shown more on the field. Kyle Williams, obviously that's where the hope part comes in because we haven't seen anything from him in the NFL. And number 6 is pretty low for Kayshon Boutte. I mean, he was the best receiver we had last year. Obviously, that wasn't that high of a bar, but come on, man, give the dude some credit. The most exciting picks, offensively speaking, are Kyle Williams and Travion Henderson. I think these guys can honestly bring a lot to the offense right away. Like, I think we're going to see Henderson getting in there ASAP. Questions about what's this going to mean for Ramondre? I'm not worried about that. I want to see production. I know we paid Mondre. Whoever produces most should be in there. So obviously it'll depend on how he performs, but I think Henderson could be like kind of the main back guy, and then you bring in Mondre in short yardage situations or on the goal line, stuff like that. I've always been a big fan of Ramondre Stevenson, so I don't want this to be a thing necessarily where we're just pushing him out the door because we got a more exciting guy, but he's going to have to produce this year. He's going to have to cut down on the fumbles. Ultimately, in my mind, it's going to be up to him. His play is going to determine it all. A couple of the less exciting but very interesting picks to me were center Jared Wilson from Georgia. Dude is a beast. He's moving people around. He's pancaking people. I like his tape. Obviously, he plays in the SEC, so you know he's playing at the highest level. And Georgia generally has good offensive and defensive linemen. I mean, it's like Alabama, Georgia, LSU. Like, it's hard to go wrong picking on either side of the line with these guys. Speaking of which, the other pick that's interesting is Braden Swinson. Got him in the 5th round. And I'm going to look up, I'm honestly interested if there was any like character concerns or anything that I missed on why he went in the 5th round, because he seems to me to be pretty high upside. Yeah, so boom, there it is. There have been some questions about his maturity during the pre-draft process. Apparently, Vrabel and company are not overly concerned about those. So that's kind of what all of these guys are saying. A lot of these guys, saying he's flying under the radar. It was a deep class for edge rushers, so it's not that much of a surprise that you're able to get an edge rusher with, later rounds. Pretty much every, grade that I'm seeing here is positive. Draft grades are complete bullshit, but the actual analysis on them is interesting to see, like, okay, what's their reasoning and stuff like that. Like, okay, yeah, there were some character concerns that might have been part of why he fell, but if Vrabel's not concerned about it, I'm not concerned about it. If anybody can whip someone into shape, it's him. And speaking of which, Javon Baker, like there's another perfect example of a guy who was like, okay, there was some on-field issues when he was drafted, and even after he was drafted, maybe Vrabel can get him straightened out, get him on the field, and make the most out of the athleticism, because we've seen it. Like, you look at his college tape, it's there. He can make plays, but it's really just a question of, can he get on the field? You gotta do that first. We drafted a kicker and a long snapper. That's kind of a yawn, but you know what? Joe Cardona has been on this team, seems like since the dawn of man. Okay, just had to jump back on because since I recorded earlier, Mike Reese has reported that the Patriots have released long snapper Joe Cardona. So just wanted to note that, and also just wanted to give respect to Joe Cardona, 2-time Super Bowl champion. He's on the Patriots All-Dynasty team, and he's also a lieutenant in the U.S. Navy. So a well-accomplished dude, great guy. We've enjoyed having him on our team. He was a captain in the 2024 season as well. So shout out to Joe Cardona. Thank you for your service both to the team and to our country. I guess that means we're feeling good about our new long snapper. So I hope this kid is good. We'll see. The kicker from Miami apparently hasn't missed any kicks. It's worth noting that many, if not most, draft experts have had the ACC kicker pegged as the #1 place kicker and most valuable specialist available this week. So we got the best kicker possible. We got him in the 6th round, which, I would make a joke about picking a kicker higher than that, but I don't think we need to go back like that. He is perfect on all 169 of his extra point tries, and he is 86% on field goals. And it looks like in his final season, he only missed 1 field goal. So the dude is very consistent. He's got a strong leg. Let's see what he can do. Another thing that was great to see was a report from Mark Daniels talking about how Vrabel is not interested in yes men around him, and how there was discussion and healthy debate during the draft. That's really nice because we came out of the Belichick era and there was a lot of trust around, okay, let Belichick cook, let him do his thing, he'll get who he needs. And towards the end, that really started to fizzle out, and there was talk of, oh, well, now Elliott Wolf is doing this and other people are contributing. There was a lot of confusion. Now there's a lot more clarity. It feels like this is Elliott Wolf's show, but Mike Vrabel has a lot of say and sway in that room. And there is discussion. There's people who are understanding different perspectives and being open to discussing draft picks. I'm not going to dive too deep into the undrafted free agent class this year. We'll learn more about them as we go, although it was funny to see somebody tweet out a fake name. They sort of got punked here. Romario Steppings, Southern Miss. Not a real person. And they found out their mistakes, so that was pretty funny. We also saw that Christian Gonzalez is working with renowned sports performance coach Mo Wells to improve his speed. I wouldn't have said that his speed was an area where he lacked by any means, but we love to see guys working hard in the offseason to improve. Can't wait to see him get back out there and have his second full year. The dude is a monster. He's going to be a cornerstone of this defense for many years to come, I hope. So this should be a fun week. Dive into highlight tapes of our new draftees, argue with people about who's going to get cut, the depth charts. That's why we get on the Bird app, the X app, and that's what group chats are for. So here we are. So let me know what you think of the 2025 draft class. Who's your favorite pick? Who's your least favorite pick? Any picks you thought were weird, or any picks you think are intriguing? And we'll be back for more Patriots Group Chat podcast. We'll see you soon.